What's going on? It's Barnyard here. Today I'm going to be going over a basic overview and non-in-depth guide of what Honeyland's all about. I had a couple people asking me about it, so wanted to put it on their radar and show them, how the hell everything works. So, first thing we got going on is honey.land. That's our loading page for it right here. So, and as you can see, you got it Google Play, App Store, follow their Twitter, join their Discord. That's a great place. A lot of good content on YouTube. Player support is fantastic. They're implementing AI to help with a lot of the basic stuff. I'll take these glasses off. I'm inside my basement. And as we scroll down, you'll see basically build your swarm, harvest sweet rewards. That's the whole game plan. Cool thing is they show you these kind of off the top little stats right there. That's always pretty sweet. And then the basics, right? So you can play free to play, but I really won't touch too much on that. I know the mechanics of that have just changed recently. It's a lot more friendly towards new players coming in. And if you don't want to spend, that's perfect. If you just want to play the game, harvest, send your bees out, you're more than welcome. But this is going to be a little bit more structured toward people that want to invest in the ecosystem. And that's where you're going to have a little bit more of your ROI, your return on investment coming out. So I guess we can go to that right now. Bing, bing, boom. So I will lead off with saying that I've been playing now for I think 8 months. The game's been open, so I am max level. And I'm running a full hive, which means I'm able to send out 240 bees at one time. So just something to keep in mind, right? This is level 30, they're max level. And you can see that HXD count up there. That is all of the HXD I've been harvesting over the last 8 months since the game started. Kind of the basic overviews. This is your landing screen. This is your hive. You'll notice you have your player profile up top. Shows you your different levels. VIP level. A lot of different benefits. But the main one is there's a withdrawal tax for all honey that's earned in the game. You'll see that tax goes down as you VIP up. In addition, you get additional wheel spins. You get an experience multiplier. You get some extra shop slots every day. So some of the things that are kind of common with normal mobile games, I guess, or Web 2 mobile games in the space. One thing that's kind of cool is that VIP isn't necessarily based on the amount you spend, like in a lot of games. You get experience for VIP by doing tasks, right? So I mean, it does correlate with spending and stuff like that, but playing the game will give you VIP points. Converting shards is the main way, at least was the main way I did, was by converting a lot of shards into my items. And then just the upgrading and hatching, pretty much just game actions, not so much the spending of HXD. A lot of these actions require HXD, but a lot of them don't as well. You'll also notice that the actual level info, the main bottleneck of Honeyland is going to be your hive size, or your mission slots available, right? So you see at level 1, you're able to send out to 6 lands at one time, 3 bees per land. So you start off with a hive maximum mission slot of 18 slots, all the way up to 30, which is 20 by 12, right? So that's where I got the 240 from. If I remember correctly, you're looking probably 6 months to obtain max level, maybe 5-6 months, somewhere in there, just from doing the daily tasks every day for XP. That's how you end up leveling up. And you'll see it right there. Harvesting, hunting, collecting your harvest and hunts, raiding. But the gist of the game is you have your hive. You have your hive. You go out into the world. This is Universe 1. You select the land. We'll go down here. And then you send out bees to that land. You can see my bees here, right? So I'll send out some bees to go on a harvesting mission. You can see some are already currently harvesting, some are on cooldown. There's a lot of intricate designs in this game, right? So on surface level, it seems pretty straightforward. Get bees, send them out on missions, get stuff back. So you can send on harvest. That's how you compete for HXD token, or you can send on a hunt, and that's how you compete for shards. If you'll notice, right? So my harvest missions, my bees are leveled up, right, and I'm hitting higher zones. So you can see, normally I'd say on average 100 harvests, I'm getting roughly 175 HXD per 100 harvests. You can see right there, Wraith for 40 was 50. 40 Harvest was 50 HXD, so that's a little bit low. But and then you'll see also for hunts. Hunts will give you honey pots, and these are different rarities. These are what gives you shards, and the shards go to in-game items, which soon there's going to be. Well, there already is a marketplace, but soon the in-game items will be able to be listed on marketplace. You'll be able to buy, sell, not necessarily trade, but all these different in-game items. And as you can see, these shards, you can craft them into different rarities. That's not the best example. From common all the way to mythic, right? And you can see the shard scale. So it just adds layers of strategies, layers of, I guess, spending tiers. If you're a whale, if you're a minnow, if you're somewhere in between, there's stuff all around. You can optimize by doing mythics for all of your upgrades, or you can just go commons just to boost them up. So those are the two main functions of right now, harvest and hunt. In addition, there's a PvP. You can go raid someone else. And basically you can fight their squads for honey. It's an auto battler, right? So all of these bees have different profiles, different attack and different special attacks, and you can see all the different stats right there. Man, my main attack squad is actually out harvesting right now, so I'm not even going to try and fight somebody. But you can earn HXD. You can put up a shield so you can't get attacked back. You can set up a defense squad so you can try and bait people into attacking you, getting their HXD. Right now, PvP has not been the main focus. I think in some of these future updates, some of these future universes, there's going to be more of an emphasis on PvP. I think some of the mechanics are going to be reworked. But as of right now, it's mostly just a harvesting and hunting. It's a resource management game would probably be the best way for me to describe Honeyland right now. Another cool function is all of these bees that you own are NFTs, right? So you'll notice mine are all generations or genesis bees, which are tradable on the marketplace on Magic Eden. So the stuff I have listed. One cool thing is that Honeyland has partnered with Magic Eden, and they're the only SLP that's you are able to list assets in outside of Sol and USDC, right? So you see some of my bees are listed in HXD, and what's also cool about that is if they're listed in HXD, there's an in-game marketplace, which is huge. What this does is Honeyland team actually works on the back end, so you'll do in your in-game account, you would buy or you would list your bees in HXD, actually routes through the backside through Magic Eden, then you end up getting your HXD one way or the other. Super innovative. That's my biggest takeaway from this team is they're so innovative. They're so they're so reactive. They have their finger on the pulse of what's going on. They're progressive in the terms of they're constantly running machinations and projections and trying to be reactive and just make sure this is the healthiest, Web3 gaming economy out there. That's part of the reason I'm so bullish is this team is all docs. They come from fantastic backgrounds in the Web 2. They've all been successful entrepreneurs, and they're really bringing that mindset of, hey, we're going to create a successful company, and we're going to make it, that successful company is going to be a mobile game. And that's the ultimate goal here, is that this is not just the top crypto game out there, but is the top, phone game, or one of the top phone games, right? So at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do is they are trying to bridge Web 2 to Web 3, right? And their goal and the way this game is really designed is they're trying to make it so that all the normies out there, everybody can pick this game up. Oh, this is sweet. I'm sending my bees out on missions. I'm battling them. This game is fun. They don't even realize it's crypto on the back end. And they're one of the first projects, if not the only project that I know of. They already have the approvals from iTunes, from the Google Play Store, right? You can go on right now. You can log in, create a wallet with your iTunes, and you can start spending from your credit card to iTunes and start buying HXD in the game. Other cool part about this is you can either create your account with a Soulflare wallet, a Phantom wallet, or you can log in with your Gmail or your iTunes. If you do the Gmail or iTunes, they end up creating a wallet custodially on the back end for you. As you can see, different collections, the different generations in Genesis. It's been almost 2 years now, I think, since the Genesis Honeyland Genesis Egg Collection was minted. And man, those have gone way down, to be honest with you. So collection originally minted as 5,500. 5,000 of those were the Genesis bees. 500 were Genesis queen eggs. They launched at 2.5 Sol, which at the time Sol's $40. So you're looking at $100 per mint for these eggs. These Genesis are going to end up being, the goal for these is to be, they have in-game utility as far as that they're able to obtain, they don't have an endurance gate as far as harvesting and stuff like that. But I think the end game for these is to be more of a inclusive into the community, into the Discord access, and to, you know, if there's exclusive events, stuff like that. Possible airdrops in the future, kind of like the meta now, where you see all these projects getting airdrop allocations and stuff. I think that's the ultimate goal here for the Genesis collection. What was really cool is when you minted these, is you had a 1 in 11 chance of minting a Genesis queen egg, which let's see here. We can see the floor on those right now. I know it's pretty good. Yeah, you can see the floor on the Genesis queen egg is 31 Sol right now, compared to the floor of the 4 for an egg, which is still really good, especially considering the price of Sol having gone up. You're still looking at a almost a 5x on your asset count there. I guess we got to go back to here. So when you hatch those eggs, you end up getting Genesis bees. You can see the floor value is a little bit lower there, but those Genesis bees are what you actually play with in the game. That's what you send out on your missions and everything. Those are kind of that's the main collection. That's the limited collection. So how the game ends up working, one of the other features that's pretty cool, and I've done some videos about this, is you can actually breed your bees, right? So you would go to your bee lab. In addition to be able to upgrade, there's a lot more in-depth strategy to go in here. I'm going to try and do some more videos. There's a lot of stuff out there. Just kind of an overview on it. But yeah, you can select your queens. You can breed out your queens. You can select males, depending on what generation, male and queen and stuff like that. It depends on, they give you different RNG possibilities for the spawns. Again, a lot of intricacies there. You can check out some of my other videos. Check that out. See exactly how that works. In addition to the Genesis collection, you have the Generation collections, and that's the offspring. If you're familiar with a lot of these crypto games where it's Gen 0 or the Genesis, and then typically you have some form of traits passed off from that to the Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. That's what we see in the Generations collection. So it's pretty unique in that a lot of these, not a lot, but the possibility of Generation 1 bees, these spawn, possibility for a lot of them to actually have stronger stats than the Genesis bees, which is kind of cool. In addition to this, you also have the lands. And if we go back to the game, you'll notice that when you go to send out on these missions, all these different little hexagons here, those are different lands. From Zone 1 all the way to Zone 8. These lands are also NFTs, so you can have ownership over these lands. What happens is when you go to harvest a land, you end up paying a commission. You end up paying a commission percentage of the harvested honey goes to the landowner. And if you go to hunt on a land, you actually have to pay a fee up front, so you get hunting fees. So typical ROI on that is I have 33 lands. I'm averaging right around 370-ish HXD a day just from owning those lands. And that's just from people harvesting and hunting on my lands. With my max hive size and mission counts, and with upgraded bees and optimized for my strategy, stuff like that, I'm pulling in roughly just under 1,000 HXD a day. So that's kind of what you can expect if you have a max account with leveled up bees and stuff like that. As far as breeding right now, it's not profitable. Just with smaller DAU count, the asset demand isn't quite there right now. Well, it was there, it's dropped down. So there's more bees than there are players right now. I fully expect the market to go back up once we get more players, with the bottleneck being the Genesis and the Generations queens. The way the mechanic works on that is that your queens end up giving you a hive boost in addition to breeding capabilities. But basically it's the generation of your queen mixed with their stats. It gives your overall bees an overall boost, right? So there's a limited number of queens out there right now, and that ends up being the bottleneck, especially for Genesis queens in the long run. That's going to end up being the most valuable asset in my opinion. One other cool function about this is they created a site called Hive, and this allows you to connect your wallet, and you're really able to break down, track all kinds of tools for all the different bees. There's a staking and unstaking function. You can explore, you can look up bees by number, you can look up by stats. There's all kinds of different filters here. The main one being if you are going to play and you do decide to start accumulating assets, there's a couple different guides on how I would recommend it based on your initial investment amount, right? If you're coming in as a free-to-play player, it's going to vary a lot differently compared to if you're coming in with $10, $20 to $50,000 of capital, and anywhere in between. But as a basic guideline, generally you would like to find your Hive queen first, and you build around her. When I say build around her, is her boost and her stat percentage increases, all that stuff. They only get applied to like mood bees. So if you'll see, all of my bees here are curious. My queen is curious. I have a curious hive. I think it's either 11, 12, or 13, somewhere between 10 or 13 different mood traits. And that's what you want to build around. And that actually ends up creating one additional layer of rarity and balance as far as these bees and these NFTs go. So, but yeah, I guess that's kind of my TLDR overview is build your hives, send them out, hunts and harvests. And eventually, their team is super progressive. We're going to have a Universe 2 here soon in the next few months. And it'll create expansion in additional functions, right? Like I said, they're revamping PvP, so that'll be better going forward. And basically, this team is just going to keep creating token sinks. So that's what I think ends up being the thing here is they just create DAUs, they create the token sinks, and eventually, the amount of HXD spent and burned every day ends up being greater than the amount of HXD being emitted, which, now that I think about it, probably should have started with that. Fixed supply of 1 billion tokens. It's deflationary. Emission rate is the game will produce a max of 320,000 HXD every day. That's distributed between all the different lands and will be cut in half or distributed. Whether there's 1 universe, 2 universe, 8 universes, there will only ever be 320,000 HXD emitted a day. So it's a very controlled drip with a fixed supply. Yeah, that's what leads me to be so bullish about this. The tokenomics, the mechanics of this game. There's so many different checks and balances and viable different strategies to go with here. Very versatile, and the product is a fantastic product, right? You're talking, years and lots of dollars put into this actual design team. This, it's fun to look at. It's aesthetically pleasing. So, could not be more bullish. That's kind of my overview, and see some of the gameplay and some of the tools and some of the ways to go about, I guess, honey landing. If you want, to get more in depth, if you want more information on it, leave a comment here. Check out some of my other videos. Hit me up on Discord, all kinds of various avenues. So, all right, well, thanks for listening, guys. Have a good one.